I just got an email today from a really wonderful composer asking if IMDB is a good place to make connections so they can break into the industry of scoring for film and television. In this video, I'm not only going to answer this question, but I'm going to talk about the larger concept here of cold emailing. I'm going to discuss how it's worked for me using the project I'm scoring right now as an example, and you're going to want to watch all the way through because the story is probably not what you think. Let's dive in. So here's the message that they sent me. I've been thinking about reaching out to film production companies through IMDB Pro, targeting those with movies or TV series ranking between 15K and 30K on the movie meter. Have you ever tried this approach? Do you think it's a good way to break into the industry? So as someone who spent the last 12 plus years scoring on film and television projects, here's my answer. I have personally had some really great success by cold emailing people, and it's led to some amazing projects. And I'm going to talk about that in detail in just a moment. But before I do, let's first address your specific question about using IMDB as a way to find and meet people to get involved with their projects. I haven't yet personally met a composer that has found success through using IMDB in this manner specifically. I know some folks that maybe have gotten some very small, low budget stuff through here. When I say success, I mean that one project leads to another and your network and connections substantially grow, sort of like building a snowball over time. I'm also defining success in this case as making enough money to support your life and desired lifestyle entirely through working as a composer. So with that said, it doesn't mean that people aren't out there who may have found this to be a useful method. The important thing that I want to convey is that you don't need permission to put yourself out there. By all means, go and give it a try because you have nothing to lose. If you are going to be cold emailing people, here's what I strongly urge you to keep in mind. You don't want to just email a company. You want to email a specific person, one who you can make a connection with and build a rapport with over time. And there must be a reason that it's beneficial for this person that you're reaching out to. It's got to be beneficial for them to know you. What I don't recommend doing is to email a person or a random production company on IMDb just looking for a job. It's my personal experience that jobs in this field don't usually come from a one-off email, but instead they're relationships that develop over time. That's why I personally like to make introductions with my emails in the hopes of doing what I call starting a dialogue. And to start a dialogue with someone, you have to know about them, what they're working on, and have some sort of common ground to kick the conversation off. Therefore, you really need to do your research on who they are, what they've done, what they're interested in, and what they're currently trying to build at this moment in time. This is not a game of sending off as many emails as you can that are generic, hoping that one responds and then you get a job. That's not going to yield a great deal of success, again, in just my opinion and experience. What I'm suggesting is a very different approach than, hey, I'm a composer, I heard you're making this movie or show, please listen to my work because I'd love to work on this project with you. As genuine as that might be, there's a lot of that. Let me give you a real-world example. I'll go into detail about exactly how I got the project I'm currently scoring through a cold email. I sent a message out about 3 years ago to the head of a project that I had read about. At the time, that project was like a tiny seed of an idea, and I wasn't looking for a job as much as I was looking to discuss what they were building and learn about how I might be able to be helpful as things developed, again, over time. You're going to notice that the word time is really repeated a lot here, and there's a reason for that. So in my message, I mentioned my genuine admiration for the projects that the recipient had already been a part of, and I expressed my enthusiasm for the project that I had just read about that they were heading up. Over the course of 3 years, we stayed in touch. I sent them, without them asking for anything, music that I did in my spare time, which was inspired by tiny nuggets of information that I gathered about their project each time that we spoke. I remember at one point that they mentioned that they were still trying to find the tone of the project, so I said, hey, I thought this piece might add to the conversation you guys are working on as you try and find the tone for your story and experience. The relationship, again, over time, went from email to Zoom calls, because it was COVID then, and from Zoom calls to, hey, here's a rough version of this project, what do you think? And it just blossomed from there. So now, here we are. It's 3 years later. I'm in an incredibly fortunate position to be working with a wonderful team who I love on a project that is really, really fun. And it all started from an email saying, hey, this sounds exciting. I worked on something similar and I might have some ideas that would be helpful. Basically, I took a genuine interest in what this team was doing, and over the course of time, I took it upon myself to prove to them that I was a good collaborator, that they could trust me not just to show up, but to show up with an idea and to work with them to create something that everyone was really excited to be a part of. A quick side note, most of the time when I message people that I don't know, it's not because they're working on something that I want to be a part of in that exact moment. The majority of the time, it's because they have already done something in the past I was inspired by, and I just dropped them a note with nothing but a genuine compliment. Hey, I just saw this, it was incredible, you and your team did something really special, and I just got inspired to let you know that I really enjoyed it. That's it. I'm not pitching myself, I'm not pitching my music, I'm just giving someone a genuine compliment expecting absolutely nothing in return. I personally feel that this is a much better way to start a relationship, at least for me. So in your question, you specifically say that you're looking for companies on IMDB Pro. What I'm suggesting is to instead look for people to build relationships with. Over time, there's that phrase again, as the relationship develops, you will learn how you may be able to be helpful to them. And I strongly suggest taking this approach both online and in real life. When your focus is on people and creativity and being valuable to the other party, I feel that individuals resonate with that and it's easier to connect with them. So if you're an aspiring composer just entering the field, or you already have your foot in the door but you have questions like the one we just answered, this is another video that you should check out because there's lots of mistakes that I made when I was starting out and I talk about them in detail right here. Check it out. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope this was helpful.